welcome you to Rays baseball and a brand new baseball season. Opening day 2017. Fans continue to file in the Tropicana Field for the 12th consecutive season. The Rays home opener is sold out. And this afternoon, the Rays play host to the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. So great to have you with us. Well, opening day, a special day in baseball, a special day on the calendar. Over the span of 12 months, I'll tell you, this is, outside of maybe Christmas, the best day of the year.
And optimism reigns here at Tropicana Field with this team. A new season, new expectations, and I'm going to tell you something right now. I am super excited to see how this is going to unfold.
A lot of optimism. The Rays again this year will be led by Evan Longoria, who is coming off a career home run year last season, and the Rays are looking for more of that.
What can you say about Evan Longoria? He is entering his 10th season and continues to produce at an elite level. A season ago, there was an increase in trying to get the ball into the air, and he was able to parlay that into a career high year with home runs, 36, 81 extra base hits, and you know that he is going to be expected to be the cornerstone of this Rays offense once again here in 2017.
Rays and the Yankees will be throwing the first pitch of the MLB season here this afternoon. And we have a new member. Alex Cordray has joined our crew. Let's go down to the field to Alex right now. Welcome.
Hey there, Dwayne and BA. Well, from one cornerstone player to another, Kevin Kiermaier is making his third opening day start today, and he's going to be making quite a few more opening day starts in a Rays uniform. The Gold Glove center fielder signed a 6-year contract extension with the Rays during spring training. He says he loves the organization, the fans, says he's extremely grateful, calling it a beautiful thing. He's more motivated than ever to be the best player he can be, and of course, that all gets put to the test as the Rays start their 162-game journey here at Tropicana Field in front of this sold-out crowd. Dwayne?
Thank you very much. Chris Archer will be on the hill for the Rays, making his third opening day start. He'll be opposed by Masahiro Tanaka, 28-year-old right-hander for the New York Yankees.
Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
For 20 years, Rays baseball has been woven into the fabric of Tampa Bay. Fans have witnessed Game 7 clinchers.
This improbable season has another chapter to it. The Rays are going to the World Series.
No hitters. It's a fly ball to right. He's going to get it, and this game is over. Matt Garza has faced 27 hitters and has thrown a no-hitter. The first no-hitter in Rays history, and he is bombed behind the mound. And game 162 heroics. That ball is gone, and the Rays win it. A line drive home run by Evan Longoria, and the Rays storm the field. For the 2017 version, the Rays have spent the offseason grinding, pouring their blood, sweat, and tears into preparing for the grueling 162-game campaign awaiting them. The Rays return to action, armed with franchise cornerstone Evan Longoria at third. Two-time Gold Glove winner Kevin Kiermaier in center field. And all-star closer Alex Colomé. This year's club is ready to lay it all on the line in quest for one thing. That thing all 30 Major League clubs are in search of: the World Series trophy. For the Rays, that journey begins right now. And it begins with Chris Archer headed to the mound this afternoon to pitch against the New York Yankees. Opening day 2017. Archer coming off a 9-19 season a year ago with an earned run average of just over 4. And he will face this lineup for the New York Yankees. Brett Gardner leads it off, followed by the late season sensation a year ago, catcher Gary Sanchez. Greg Bird healthy in the lineup at first base. Matt Holliday over from the National League, the DH. Jacoby Ellsbury's in center. Starlin Castro starts at second base with Chase Headley at third. Aaron Judge in right field hitting eighth. Ronald Torreyes takes the place of Didi Gregorius out with the injury. Torreyes sits ninth and plays shortstop.
Well, Dwayne, those are the numbers that you were talking to and referring to Chris Archer's 2016 season. But I will tell you this, coming in and getting ready for the WBC, he came into spring training this year raring to go, ready to go, renewed focus, had a very good spring, and is looking to get the Rays season off to a strong start here this afternoon. Let's take a look at that Rays defense and see how it's going to line up behind him here this afternoon. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield left to right, we have Malik Smith, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. And across that infield third to first, Evan Longoria, Tim Beckham, Brad Miller, and Logan Morrison, with Derek Norris behind the plate.
Used to be a little bit of a delay, and you have to think that has something to do with the communications toward New York and the possibility of any reviews. They want to make sure the lines are clear. Jerry Lane will be calling the balls and strikes, the crew chief, and he's out there making sure that they have full contact. And so that's a little speculation, but something you would think that might be of concern at this point.
Especially with this being the first game of the 2017 season. Clear all that up and get ready to go.
A couple of other games on the card today. Opening day, the Giants and the Diamondbacks will play later in Arizona. The Cubs and the Cardinals tonight in St. Louis. But before all of that, the Rays and the Yankees will square off here at Tropicana Field this afternoon in St. Petersburg. Well, you spend the offseason and spring training attempting to make your team better. And the Rays have an opportunity to find out right away. When you look at this schedule, opening with 3 against the Yankees, then 4 at home against the Toronto Blue Jays, and then they go to New York and follow that up with a stop at Fenway against the Red Sox.
14 straight games within the division to start the season. You're going to find out really quick here what this team is all about, because it's going to be a grind, as it normally is within the American League East.
We touched on a little bit in the pregame, talking about the uncertainty of the East. No question, I think most people feel the Red Sox are the favorite. The Blue Jays have a point to make. They still want to get there ultimately. Did not do that a year ago. The Red Sox had some question about David Price, Edwin Encarnacion gone from the Toronto lineup. Then you have the Yankees and the Rays and the Orioles, and they're all 3 would fall into that unknown category, but all 3 optimistic that they can make a move in the division.
Quick start. It's all about a quick start, especially with all those division games, and here we go.
Well, whatever the problem was, we're going to carry on. We're set to play baseball. Brett Gardner in the box, Chris Archer on top of the hill. Jerry Lane says we're ready to go. And the first pitch of 2017 is down and in, ball 1. So we are underway here, 12 minutes past the hour. Delayed a couple of moments. Veteran left fielder Gardner coming off a .261 season. There's a strike.
Well, and what you're going to see here in this Yankees lineup is Joe Girardi has decided to break up Gardner and Ellsbury. Ellsbury moving down in the lineup to start the 2017 season. A change from a year ago.
Just missed there. 2 balls and a strike. Fastball approaching 94, and that's about average for Archer. As you know, sometimes a little above that. There's a strike. 2-2.
Well, I think right now Brett Gardner's asking, hey, wasn't that the same pitch as before? You see that fastball right on that edge.
It's a borderline pitch.
It is.
50-50. One time the hitter gets it, one time the pitcher gets it. Sharply hit foul outside of first. Well, important for the Rays and Archer to get off to a good start in that first inning. We know at the beginning of last year for Chris, trouble early was an issue for him.
Well, on the season, the ERA was approaching 7 in the first inning, and so you're right about that. It helps settle the nerves, too.
Pop back into left, and Smith coming in and makes the catch. Malik Smith takes care of the fly ball off the bat of Brett Gardner to start this one.
Excited to see Malik Smith play.
I'll tell you,
you know,
you're right. He could be a great addition. Speed. He had some exciting moments this spring on the bases, even when he got picked off a couple times. He could force the issue and force the opposition into mistakes. Came over technically from Seattle, but played last year with Atlanta.
He forces opposing pitchers to have to deal with him on the base paths, can cover a ton of ground. You think about this outfield defense and the ground that they can cover.
There's Gary Sanchez. Look out! Shot right back at Archer, who recovers to make the throw to first. Boy, that will get your heart beating. If it wasn't already on opening day, you get that hard-hit line drive, and the Rays want to check Archer.
Well, especially the way the ball comes off the bat of Gary Sanchez. Just watching him take BP, that ball jumps. And that one right on top of Chris Archer.
Yeah, you're right about the ball off the bat of Sanchez. Here's a replay.
Yeah, and one hop or not, that ball was scalded.
So Chris appears to be just fine. Yeah, Sanchez hits the ball as hard as any hitter in baseball right now, certainly in the top 5. Here's Greg Bird. That's a strike. Yankees are happy to have the young first baseman back. Bird missed last year with surgery on his right shoulder. 1-1.
And you always wonder, especially with a position player, how is that going to play coming into spring training the following year after having sat out the entire, season? And boy, did he put together a spring training for the Yankees.
Yes, he did. He hit 8 home runs in spring training. 2-1, and almost hit 500 for the spring.
That's incredible. That's incredible. There it is. Gaudy.
2-1 the count. Just a bit high with that one. 2 outs, bases empty. Top of the first. And that's going to be upstairs, a 2-out walk.
Well, and with the spring that Bird had, you're going to pitch him carefully. You know, he missed the first couple of pitches, and all of a sudden you're not just going to lay one in there with the way that he's seeing the baseball right now. So you kind of pitch around him, and you end up with a 2-out walk.
Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach, looking on. And here's a guy the Yankees added, a veteran hitter in Matt Holliday, 37 years old. And it didn't take long in spring training for the Yankee people to start talking about the influence he can have in the clubhouse.
And in that lineup.
Yep.
You know, the glue that kind of holds everything together. And Joe Girardi, you know, he has challenged his veterans. You know, a lot of kids, you want to take some of the pressure off of them, and has challenged, you know, Jacoby Ellsbury and Brett Gardner and Matt Holliday to step up and produce.
Here's the strike. Holliday coming over from the Cardinals had a fractured thumb, a left thumb fracture last year, and that limited him. Wound up hitting .246 for the Cardinals with 20 home runs. Two and one. Archer missed with the fastball, mid-90s. And a close pitch right there for ball 3. Archer wanted that pitch. We'll take a look from overhead.
He just kind of yanks that fastball towards that outer edge, and it is just off. A nice job by Norris to present it well, but it just did miss.
Chop right side. Miller with the toss in time at first. Nice play. Miller had to range far to his left, but he had Holliday, who is not fleet of foot, running over there. And so that is out number 3, and let's see if they're going to take a look at this. It was pretty close.
Yes, it was. Well, you had a couple things in play there. You had a slider that was hit off the end of the bat with Brad Miller kind of shading up the middle, so he had to go a long way to get to that baseball. That's what took so much time.
You know, the other thing, Hudson was screened for just a moment there as well. He hesitated.
Oh, boy. Well, I'm going to test that system real quick.
So another look.
You know, and what Matt Holliday did well is go to the front of the bag. Closest point of first base.
So this one being reviewed already.
Well, we might as well start, you know, right off the bat here in the first inning. What do you think? I don't know if this goes well for the Rays.
Yeah, the only thing they have going for them, you know, they talked about it's got to be conclusive.
Yeah, right.
So they might have that going for them, but I tend to agree with you.
Oh,
he's going to be out.
It's $1 into the jar for both of us.
So Holliday is out at first. Did it hit the glove before the foot hit the front of the bag? Well, we go to the bottom of the first. Corey Dickerson's going to lead it off, followed by Kevin Kiermaier. And Evan Longoria back with the entire lineup in a moment. Coming in to hit. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. The DH will be that man right there. Leading off, Corey Dickerson, followed by Kevin Kiermaier and Evan Longoria. Brad Miller, Steven Souza Jr., and Logan Morrison down the middle. Tim Beckham hits 7th in front of Malik Smith, the left fielder. Derek Norris, the catcher, bats 9th.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the New York Yankees, right-hander Masahiro Tanaka, and all this guy does is win. 75 career starts in the major leagues, a record of 39-16.
Well, there's Dickerson and the first pitch. He takes it for a strike. Corey, 24 home runs last year. Swung the bat well this spring, showing some power. Spent a lot of time in the leadoff spot this spring. There's a liner, base hit into center. Dickerson hustling around first will hold with the base hit.
Great start for the Rays as we take a look at the New York Yankee defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in that outfield left to right, we have Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Aaron Judge. Across the infield, third to first, Chase Headley, Ronald Torreyes, Starlin Castro, and Greg Bird, with Gary Sanchez behind the plate.
Well, the Rays' first two hitters have had some success against Tanaka. Kevin Kiermaier's 5 of 11 with a home run off him. And takes the ball. Dickerson with that base hits, now 5 of 15 lifetime against him. So the Rays with a runner and nobody out here in the bottom of the first. We're on the count to 2-0. He held up in time. That's Mike Estabrook down at third.
Well, and for these Rays hitters, it's not exclusive, but for the most part against Tanaka, the sights go lower. He likes to work down at the bottom of the zone with a wide assortment of pitches, but the majority of the time, he's working down.
Kiermaier, big cut and a little piece of that fastball foul, and it's hard to get anything straight from him.
Good luck. I mean, sink, the cutter, slider, the split. And he mixes his usage. He doesn't get stuck and pigeonholed into a certain pattern all the time. He really mixes his pitches very, very well.
Base hit the other way. Gardner slides to cut it off. Dickerson goes to third. Kiermaier into second. Safe at first. Rays come out swinging aggressively. Kiermaier runs it into a double.
Well, looking down in the zone, the ball catches too much plate. Kiermaier right back up the middle. Brett Gardner with a game effort in trying to cut that ball off, but Kevin Kiermaier is going to challenge that arm every time, and he wins.
Kiermaier fired up and getting everybody else fired up along with them. Big opportunity in the first for the Rays. Nobody out. Evan Longoria in the batter's box.
Well, and as we talked about Chris Archer in the first inning of ball games, Tanaka last year so dominant in the first inning, always getting off to a great start, and here the Rays have a great opportunity. Tanaka a year ago gave up 4 earned runs in 31 first innings for an ERA of 1.16. It was good enough for I don't know what that was good enough for, but it was really good. 1.16 is always good.
Well, he was 14-4 overall last year. 31 starts. Strike one. And you're so right about his willingness and ability to throw any pitch at any time. And it's second and third. You've got an RBI guy up there looking for something straight, something with a little velocity on it. And he had him out in front on a ball that dipped.
And chasing out of the zone. And I think that's why you saw Evan Longoria take that long walk, kind of recalibrate. Hey, let's get him back in the zone and drive these runs in.
Fly ball the other way to right. Judge lining up to make the catch. Tagged by Dickerson. He heads to the plate and will score standing. Rays take an early lead. Longoria drives in the run with the fly ball. Kiermaier remains at second as Dickerson scores.
Not a bad way to start a season. Not even an official at-bat, and Evan Longoria has already recorded his first run batted into the season.
So the Rays get one of those runners home. Dickerson single, the double by Kiermaier, fly ball from Longoria. And now they have Kiermaier out there to get home at second base with one away. In the dirt, and it's blocked by Sanchez.
Well, that's an important block, too, because Kiermaier, with his speed and explosiveness, able to get to third base with less than two. That's what you'd like to see, but that split in the dirt and Sanchez right on top of it.
Ball two, fastball missing. Two balls, no strikes. Ground ball, backhanded by Bird. Bobbled it, can't find it. Picked up by Castro. And the play at first with Tanaka getting over there. How about all that? Kiermaier goes to third. Miller hit the ball hard. They got away from Bird, and with him hustling down the line, he beat the play.
Well, going down and trying to make a backhand right here, and that ball just squirts out, and Greg Bird has no idea. He got up fully expecting to grab that baseball and complete the play to Tanaka, and that ball had squirted free.
Now Brad Miller gets an infield hit. Steven Susie Jr. What a great opportunity for the Rays here to make an early impact in a significant way. Pitch wide, and Sanchez out there in front of this one.
Well, not only did we talk about how good Tanaka has been in the first inning, how good he has been overall against the Rays. Perfect record.
Yep.
Last year faced him 5 times.
See the numbers there in 8 career starts, 6-0. Way down. 2-0. Take a look at this from Sanchez back there.
Yeah, a little more velocity on this pitch, and you see Sanchez initially is thinking about flipping that glove over and realizing too much velocity, got to go with the backhand. Another nice play.
And again away, 3-0. You know, Tanaka faced the Rays last September in a game in which he gave up 4 home runs in 6 innings and still won that game. Souza Jr. and it loads the bases. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, will make a trip to the mound. One out with a run home. The bases loaded, and Logan Morrison coming to the plate.
Well, and more than anything, trying to give Tanaka a little bit of a breather. He's been working hard, been under duress from the opening hitter of this inning. And right now you can see just trying to make the perfect pitch. Not really attacking the zone, trying to stay right on the fringe.
Unusual for him. He's made 15 pitches and 8 of them have been out of the strike zone. Here's a guy who walked 36 hitters and just 1 out away from 200 innings last year. So he knows what he's doing out there and usually can execute. So here's Morrison. Remember the start Logan Morrison had last year? It took him forever to get a run batted in. Boy, here's a chance early to take care of that in his very first at bat. And he did go, says Estabrook. Strike one.
Logan Morrison not a fan at all. Let's take a look. Just like with the pitches, borderline swing.
50-50. Up the middle, base hit into center. Kiermaier scores. Miller waved to the plate, and the Rays lead 3-0. Morrison drives it through the middle, and the Rays take advantage of the opportunity and lead 3-0.
That's 3 hits already for the Rays back up the middle. Yankees had the right idea too with Ronald Torreyes shading up the middle. It's a split, stays up a little bit, and you're going to see Logan Morrison go right back up the middle. Look at Torreyes, perfectly placed, and that ball just a little bit too much on it, able to sneak it by him.
So now it's Souza Jr. at second, Morrison at first, and Tim Beckham Jr. Beckham had a very good spring. Finished last year with a 10-game hitting streak, so he carries that over. At 247 a year ago. Strike to Beckham. Two. 4 hits and a walk, sacrifice fly, and the Rays have 3 runs. Longoria got the first run home with the fly ball. Into center field. Ellsbury closes to make the catch. 2 gone, and the runners remain at first and second.
Left fielder, number 0, Malik Smith.
Now the 8th place hitter, Malik Smith. Smith in 72 games last year for Atlanta hit .238.
But boy, because of that speed, always a threat. The added bonus of being a left-handed hitter, you're that much closer.
Strike one. Yeah, you just want to see him put the ball into play and run. Young man out of Tallahassee.
I like what he's done with the Sox too. Aggressive, showing the TB, showing some stripes. with the white shoes to make him look even faster.
0-2. And wearing 0. The first Ray ever to do that. Here's the look. And he's out on strikes. So the Rays send 8 men to the plate. They leave 2 but score 3. Longoria's fly ball got 1 run home, and Logan Morrison's base hit to center chased home 2 more. We go to the second and the Rays are up 3-0. Sound brought to you by T-Mobile. Only T-Mobile lets you stream, post, and share all things MLB. With T-Mobile One, unlimited data means unlimited baseball. By your local Ford dealer. And brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Rays off to a quick lead. It's 3-0 after an inning. We go to the second. Chris Archer made 17 pitches in the first inning and opens against Jacoby Ellsbury in the second. And that's a strike. Baseball to start it. Castro next and then Headley. Ellsbury. Healthy numbers against Archer, and he misses a base hit there. Possible extra bases out in front, and he pulled it foul. 0-2 the count. Look at that. 19 of 34 with 2 home runs against Archer.
And what you like to think about as a pitcher is I've found a lot of different ways to not get him out. Let's try something new. And that's you just try to reformulate a game plan, but you always have one of those guys that for whatever reason just sees the ball well out of your hand. You typically aren't making quality pitches to this guy, and he's able to capitalize.
And it seems as if the only way to get through that is just to get through it.
Yeah.
You just keep doing what you think you need to do, and finally you get a guy out once in a while. Upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But you had a game plan going in.
Yeah. no question about it.
It made sense, but somehow it didn't work.
Yeah. Sometimes there's that tractor beam that seems to just take the pitch to the middle of the plate. Other times it's just a flawed plan and you need to show them something different.
Toward the left field line. Smith into foul territory, runs under it and makes the catch. Well, Smith can cover some ground out there. And when you look at the Rays outfield right now with Smith, Kiermaier, and Souza, there's a lot of range out there.
No question about it. And you're going to see Malik Smith trying to get a bead. You know, he's new to this roof too. We talk about how it can be difficult for opposing players coming in. Well, Malik Smith relatively new to the Tropicana Field roof. But you're right. You've got three guys that can go get him.
Starlin Castro. First pitch is a strike. Castro, a .270 hitter a year ago with 21 home runs. He can be an aggressive hitter up there. And Archer gets him to chase. 0-2.
Well timed. You can talk it. There's that aggressiveness. An 0-1 slider in the dirt, and Starlin Castro did not hold up at all. When you get a guy doing that earlier in the count, you talk about being able to expand the zone and force his hand. That's what you're going to see Chris Archer do right here.
1-2.
You know, and that's one of those pitches too where, okay, you climb the ladder, he's able to hold off. Well, now you can go right back down to that slider. Is he going to be able to hold off on that once again?
Difficult with 2 strikes on a guy who tends to be aggressive anyway.
Yeah. And a lot of different possibilities right here for Chris Archer.
Ground ball. It's Miller, bobbles, throws, scoops at first. Safe the call. So Castro reaches.
This ball up the middle, and the footwork right here. Brad Miller just stumbling, and once he goes down, Castro hustling up the line. You see right here, kind of gets crossed up, the heel and the toe.
Well, close enough. They want to take a look at that one at first.
Yeah, as those feet were crossing over, the left toe into the dirt, the left heel got clipped. Get a good look at that right here on the what they're taking a look at, the scoop. Another close one. Ball in the back of the glove. The foot appeared to maybe be just off the bag. We'll see.
Yeah, 2 very close plays here early. Well, that's why they call it the big leagues. Close calls.
Too much flexion in the toe, the foot of Starlin Castro.
Take a look. Well, I hope those guys in New York are in mid-season form, because they've gotten a couple very tough calls to begin the season with here. By the way, that initial delay was technical issues with the Yankees system on the third base side. So both teams now allowed unlimited crew reviews after the manager challenge is used. And the call is going to be safe. That's going to go as a hit, so it stands on the review. Castro gets a hit. One on with 1 out. Here's Chase Headley. Ready shift with Headley at the plate. Only 3 of 19 in his career against Archer. Rays got 3 in the first. Yankees 1 on, 1 out in the second. That's a strike.
And that was with the changeup. And I think you're going to see Chris Archer sprinkle that pitch in maybe a little bit more than he did a season ago. So reliant upon the fastball and the slider, and for good reason. They are plus pitches. But boy, the emerging changeup would be just another added weapon for Chris. 2. Great example of it right there again. You're so geared up for that mid-90s fastball. You've got to get things started early. Here comes back-to-back changeups, presented well, and you can see how out in front Chase Headley was.
Boy, that's pretty interesting. You remember seeing him with back-to-back changeups last year?
No.
I don't at all.
No.
That's pitching.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, that's a great sign. Foul the other way.
And then look how late he was on that fastball. You're trying to shorten your stroke right now with 2 strikes, and that changeup, it gets you out in front, and then all of a sudden the fastball kind of jumps on you.
Full house at Tropicana Field opening day. Rays put up 3 in the first. A 1-2 count to Chase Headley. Two and 2. Archer, as you pointed out, had the idea that maybe he might use that changeup a little bit more, and the fact that Derek Norris is behind the plate will help execute that, I think. He's been that kind of catcher in his career. Oh, the open side and a base hit. Smith with the pickup. Didn't have to hit it hard. And Headley has a soft single against the shift.
That slider from Chris Archer didn't have quite the depth that you normally see, and so this acted more like a cutter. You can see the shift that was put on by Headley, and he just inside outs that ball. Absolutely nothing that you can do about that. That ball got in on him. He stayed inside of it. No chance to make a play.
Well, here is Aaron Judge. A lot of power. And to left. That ball will one-hop the wall. Castro scores. Headley's going to stop at third. Judge didn't waste any time and doubles to get New York on the board. It's 3-1.
Boy, and that pitch just was working its way down towards the end of the bat and missed the barrel. This is the slider, and it's a good thing out in front just off the end of the bat. That still shows you the carry that he got, the power that he has. That ball, it makes it to the barrel of the bat, and that's out of here, and a rocket shot off the end, and he's still in one hop the wall.
Well, there's Torreyes. Ronald Torreyes playing shortstop in the place of Didi Gregorius. Pitch is down. So the Yankees have answered with a run, and they threaten with 2 men in scoring position. Foul outside the bag. Well, they figure Gregorius could be gone at least 6 weeks with that shoulder injury. And the WBC actually injured that shoulder, not playing shortstop, but second base, making the throw from second, which he'd not done. And that throw led to a shoulder injury. Ground ball by the mound. Miller gloves it. The throw to first. The run will score. So the Yankees get 2 back. Judge goes to third. Torreyes gets a run batted in. It's 3-2 Rays.
Number 11, red card.
So a man at third with 2 outs. Castro and Headley have scored. Aaron Judge is the runner, and we go back to the top of the order. Brett Gardner. Strike around the knees. Well, the Yankees game this year will be something like it was for a good part of last year. Try to get a lead, get the game to the back end of their bullpen, because they have some outstanding arms there.
When you think they bring back Chapman, still have Dellin Betances, Tyler Clippard, you've got some options to be able to shorten games. That seems to be the trend now in Major League Baseball. Build super bullpens. You saw how they were used in the playoffs last year. You can't do that during the course of a regular season, but you can see where things are trending. Shorten the ball game.
Miller charges this one and makes the toss. The Yankees are out. They score 2, lead 1. We go to the Rays half of the inning. 3-2 Tampa Bay. Second, Drew Green presents the dimensions here at Tropicana Field. The dimensions are one thing. You can see 315 to the low wall in left, 370 to the alley in left center, 404 to dead center, and then uniform 370 right center, 322 to right, and it tends to skew to the pitcher's advantage and hurts lefties, left-handed hitters, that is, a little more than right-handed hitters. And now new turf, and we'll have a lot of conversation about that. First pitch to Derek Norris is low, 1-0. The turf, new field turf here to start the new season.
Well, I'll say this right off the bat, aesthetically very pleasing.
Much more uniform than the old turf. And it'll be interesting as we go along. The early word is that there's a little more bounce to it. It might be a little quicker. Three and 0. And a pad underneath to help the legs.
A lot of these Rays players dependent on those legs. Speed.
Morris takes a strike. 3-1. Rays at 3 off Tanaka in the first inning of this game. Ground ball, third. Headley. There's a strike across the diamond. So that is the first out here in the Rays half of the second. Interesting thing about those 3 runs the Rays got in the first off Tanaka, he gave up 4 runs in the first inning total last year. 4 runs for the year in the first.
31 starts.
Yeah.
So that's 31 innings. And you're right. Interesting. Well, this is why you play the games. And this is why there's always optimism going into a season. You never know how it's going to turn out.
Dickerson takes the ball. Yeah, and how about Logan Morrison's start? Last year in April, 0 runs batted in. 1 at bat this year, 2.
Took him about 15 minutes this year.
There you go.
Last year about a month and a half.
Keep it up. 1-1 the count.
Well, and you know what? I think that's something that Logan Morrison can do. You know, he got off to such a bad start that his numbers were going to be down anyway for the season. But he actually finished pretty strong. You know, once you got into mid-May, from then on, you know, there was an injury, obviously limited to 102 games, but hit 270 from then on. Some power.
1-2 the count on Dickerson.
That's one thing that this lineup does not lack for is power. They don't have that one guy, you know, although Evan Longoria with 36 home runs a year ago, that jumps out at you. But boy, they've got a lot of guys and hit the ball a long way.
Dickerson is out on strikes.
A little bit of a change right there by Tanaka. Dickerson going back up the middle in his first at bat. Last couple of pitches here, fastballs, and for Tanaka, that's elevated. That's him occasionally pitching up in the zone and doing it effectively.
Kevin Kiermaier doubled the other way his first time. So he sails in down around his feet. Breaking ball. Two and 0. Off speed stuff here to Kiermaier. Okay. 3-0. Tanaka, who usually has very good command and low pitch counts, made 23 pitches in the first.
That's the point that you made earlier, Dwayne, about the fact that Tanaka will throw any pitch in any spot. 2-1, you're not thinking split because those pitches end up out of the zone. But that's what he comes with, and he does get the swing.
Now the count is full. Two outs, bases empty. Interesting to watch Kiermaier this year develop from the offensive side of things. Last year, the injury prevented him from playing a full season, and yet his on-base percentage went up. That was a significant move for him. Average was down, but the on-base percentage better. Take a look at last year, 246 down from 263, but on base went from 298 to 331.
Yeah, trending in the right direction. And you think about him on base becoming a more proficient base stealer, explosive, another threat.
And he draws the walk. Breaking ball 3-2. 2-out walk. Puts Kiermaier at first and gets Evan Longoria to the plate.
It certainly does, and this is where you start to think about Kevin Kiermaier. Do you put him in motion? Masahiro Tanaka, just 10 stolen base attempts against him a year ago. 7 successful, but this is the perfect time and the perfect guy. Although you got a guy in scoring position at the plate right now.
Yes, they do. 36 times last year. Side sailing in there, 1-0. Toyota inside look as we check out Evan Longoria. First in games and right down the list. First in all of those categories.
Pretty easy.
Down the left field line. That's got some carry and will get out of here. Home run for Longoria. Longoria hits his first home run of the year. He drove in a run in the first to the fly ball. A 2-run home run with 2 outs here in the second. And the Rays again are up by 3.
Boy, that shows you how strong he is. He did not get all of that pitch. But boy, did he place it well.
Longoria with a home run, his second in his career off Tanaka.
There it is, the split. Starts to work its way in. Evan gets the barrel out, and that landing that he made so famous a few seasons ago, he dropped one right in there.
2-0.
Right around here.
Got it inside there. Yeah.
Just popped on the top of that low wall, and off you go.
Yeah, that 162 landing is now Ducky's 162 landing. How appropriate that is.
I'll tell you what, we've crammed a lot into the first 2 innings of this game. A couple of replays, Ducky's landing. Oh, there it is. Get the ball airborne. Boy, that's placement.
High popper off the bat of Brad Miller into short center. Caught by Ellsbury. Rays are finished, but they come back with 2 more to again establish a 3-run lead. The 2 runs courtesy of Evan Longoria's first home run of the year. A 3-run lead again with his home run. And of course, he plays that low wall extremely well. And let's go back to game 162 and right down the line. What a moment that was. And then here today, again against the Yankees, and that ball came back to him. And he hit it out. We go to the third. This is Gary Sanchez leading off. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, that low wall, we mentioned the dimensions earlier and why it's a little tougher on lefties than righties, and that gives righties a little bit of an edge here. That low wall, and Longoria takes advantage of it. You know, the other thing today that will help a little bit with a full house, the more people you get into a dome, normally speaking, you're going to have a little bit more humidity, and that will affect the way the ball flies. We've already had 7 runs in this game through the first 2 innings.
It's already affected the dryness of my shirt, so I can attest to that humidity.
2-1. There'll be no more shots in the booth.
Coffee's not helping.
Down to short. Beckham with the throw right on the money. Well, Beckham getting the opportunity to play short more or less on an everyday basis with Matt Duffy out. No one really knows how long he's going to be lost to the club with the heel situation, and so Beckham taking advantage of that. Had a good spring. There's Duffy. Ray's plans were to have him play shortstop, but the problem with the heel has prevented that.
Boy, you've got to be encouraged too by Tim Beckham. The way that the 16 season ended.
Yep. Smith after this one in foul territory had a lot of hang time, and he got over there to retire Bird. 2 up, 2 down. Yeah, you're right about that. And the story, the ongoing story in the spring was the presence of Ricky Weeks Jr., a veteran, 34 years old, in camp as a non-roster player, had never played first before and played a great first base there. Swung the bat well and spent a lot of time with Beckham. So there you go.
That is so valuable, and it's hard to quantify.
Yep.
But boy, some of these guys that come in, you hear about it. We talked about Matt Holliday with the New York Yankees.
Yep.
That veteran presence that comes in and just kind of takes a guy under their wing, sets the example for the team, whatever it may be, the kind of impact that they have on that clubhouse.
Well, the Yankee people tell us that you walk into the Yankee clubhouse, and the corner where Holliday's locker is, there are 3 or 4 or 5 chairs circled around that locker all the time. That tells you something right there. There's the strike on the outside edge. 1-2 to Holliday. And apparently the story is in the Rays camp that Weeks, being a veteran, he'd been around, was a great presence for Beckham. Cut the miss on the fastball. A 1-2-3 inning, and that's exactly what Archer and the Rays were after. 5-2 Tampa Bay. 5-2 ball game. Rays lead this game over the Yankees. Let's check in with Alex right now. Alex?
Thank you, Dwayne. I am joined now by Rays owner Stu Sternberg. And Stu, this is your 12th season as the Rays owner. But tell me, what is opening day like for you?
I still get goosebumps, tingles, and almost like I'm a kid, and I really can't believe I get to put this thing together with all our people each year.
So your Rays have come out swinging today. What do you like that you're seeing so far?
Well, I like that we got out of the first inning, A, unscathed, that Chris didn't get hurt on that ball back to the mound, and B, that we actually have a lead, because I don't know exactly, but it hasn't smiled too kindly on us the first inning or two the last couple of years. The bats, it's working out beautifully, and against as tough a pitcher, I think, as we're going to see during the year.
When you mentioned Chris Archer there, but he's making his third opening day start. What do you make so far of his outing?
Well, first, it's nice to see that he's got the new hairdo going, which is okay, but he's got to be a bit nervous, little butterflies. Whether, I talked to some of the players beforehand. It's verboten. You don't talk to the starting pitchers, so we don't go near them. But they've, got to be a little overamped and ready to and you don't want to have them overthrowing. And sometimes, you have to settle down. And it was nice in a way that he didn't get hurt when he got hit with the ball, because it sort of, I guess, put him in the game and, in the moment quicker.
For all your players, you talk about not getting too overamped. How do you think they handle just the atmosphere, the excitement of opening day while focusing on just doing their job?
It's got to be tough. I think by the time you get to the second, third game, but certainly opening day, they're really ready to go at it after spring training. The one guy I saw before, Malik Smith, who we're really excited to see him out there, and he's running down the balls, throwing back from the fence, but he looked a little nervous, ready to go out there. So I think he found his legs now.
Oh, but is that pretty cool to see guys, making the opening day roster like Malik Smith, like Daniel Robertson?
Well, it's interesting you bring them both up. And Smith had been in last year. He's here opening day for us the first time. But they use the expression his first time on the line, which I didn't think I had heard before for Robertson. So his first time out on the line out there, and the same thing with Pruitt. Both of them who are going to be, I think, important pieces for us the first few weeks, at least for the season.
Stu, so it's talking about new season. What about this new turf we're seeing today? What are your thoughts?
Well, the first thought is that Miller fell on the seam at second, so I'm not very happy. But let's go back a little bit. It looks incredible. The players have been very happy with it. The pitchers who were running the outfield before the game said it felt better. There was less wear on their legs. So that's really the most important part. But I let the viewers see if they notice any difference on TV. I think it looks different to our eye. What do you think?
It looks fantastic so far. Well, and for viewers watching at home, what should they know about coming to the Trop this season, and maybe some new things going on here?
Hold on, sorry. Other than the players and our expected performance and all, there's a new turf. We've got some new ribbon boards around the side, new food offerings as well. We've got $7.11 Friday nights here from 7-Eleven. We've been a new sponsor. 10 Ks this year, although we're up to a slow start today. Will be a Burger King meal and a Whopper meal, which is kind of cool, with fries and a soda. So I think that's a pretty good one for the fans coming out, and all our fans as well. And there's so many things we try to bring to fore. I ran into two people coming in at the opening gate today, and they had Yankee shirts on. They said, "Don't mind the shirt." Which we want to tell you, we've never been here before, and it's incredible. And we're used to going to other stadiums. We've been in New York, and the people here are friendly, and the place is so welcoming. We didn't expect it to be such a great spot. So that's good to hear.
Good. And last one for you. What do you think of this sellout crowd today?
Love them sellout crowds. We had it done very early in advance, which was great. And clearly the Yankees' first game of the season, and all of Major League Baseball is exciting. And on Sunday, we couldn't script it any better like that. We saw a lot of kids coming in today who didn't have to sort of skip school, which was nice, and the parents didn't have to have that guilt factor involved. But it's out of our hands to a large extent, and it was moved for TV to a point, but we're excited to do it, and I just want to welcome you on board officially. Can it go? Can it go? Can it go? It went. Yeah! He's been the guy today, huh? Welcome back. There you go. That's why we like doing this when the Rays are up. Lomo, he was incredible for us the last half of last year. And I actually saw him before the game, and I said to him, the one thing I'm sure of, you're going to get off to a better start than you did last year, because he was absolutely horrendous. And that's no secret, the first month of the season, but he did really well after that. So anyway, so the place is great. I want to thank you for joining us this year, and I think we can And however the game turns out in the season, you're getting credit for the start so far, okay?
Stu, I appreciate that. Clearly, Lomo heard your message loud and clear. So thank you very much for your time. Have fun with your family today.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, they're all here, which is wonderful. Thanks for tuning in, and we love your support. Appreciate it.
All right, well, we got a chance to hear Stu Sternberg's home run call there.
I love his interviews.
Oh, they're great, aren't they?
They are must-see TV.
Yep.
Not going to hold back. If you ask him a question, you're going to get an answer.
Well, pitch to Beckham is fouled back. Morrison, who drove in 2 runs with a base hit in the first, has hit one out to right center here in the third to make it a 6-2 ball game.
Mislocation, middle of the plate, thigh high.
The Rays hit 4 home runs off Tanaka the last time they faced him at the end of last year, and they've hit 2 today and have 6 runs. That's a base hit, extra bases. Beckham on his way to second, ball into the corner. And Beckham will aggressively turn second and hold with a double. Hits keep on coming for the Rays. Double follows the home run.
Now here's another split. This ball middle of the plate down. But Tim Beckham does a great job of staying on top of that pitch and hammering it up the line. You know, we've already documented about Tanaka and his success against the Rays over the course of his career. But he's also coming off of spring training where he gave up 1 earned run in spring training. Yep. That's it. And the Rays are all over him here this afternoon.
There's Malik Smith. And the bunt. Watch him run. They throw it away. Beckham scores. Smith will go to second and stop there. And that's one of the elements that he brings to this club. We saw it in the spring, because you're going to have to hurry. You made a hurried throw trying to get him at first, and they threw it away. And the Rays get another run. It's 7-2.
Yeah, and Gary Sanchez has a very strong arm. Well, I'll tell you, this game could not be going closer to script for the Rays. Sanchez forced to lower that arm angle and hurrying that throw. Rush it, the ball sails, almost catches Malix in the back. But you're right, Dwayne, that's what you do. You put pressure on the defense. When you do that, occasionally they are going to make a mistake.
7-2 ball game, and here's Derek Norris. Bunt single for Smith, an error on Sanchez. The run scoring on the error. Pitch is wide. The Yankees get some action up in the bullpen. Tanaka over 60 pitches here. 1 out into the third. It's the left-hander. Tommy Lane throwing. Two and 0.
Looked like it was a cross-up right there. That pitch well placed by Tanaka. Gary Sanchez kind of just swatted it down. Fastball down and away, and you can see he's thinking something else.
Some cut there by Norris. Chased it, and it's 2-1. Rays got 3 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. They put 2 more up in the third. 28-year-old catcher Derek Norris. Count is 2-2. Norris had a little catching up to do in a couple of categories once he came to the Rays from the Nationals. One, he came to the Rays the last week of spring training trying to catch up on the pitching staff, and then he hadn't played since I think the 13th of March. So there was a 2-week period there for him to catch up on all of that as well.
Trying to use spring training to get your timing down, get ready for the season. You miss a lot of time and come to a new staff. That's tough.
Lifts it up the right field side. That's going to be foul out of the reach of Judge. Smith on at second, bunting his way on, reaching second on the error. Norris has some pop in his bat. Last year at San Diego, an off year, he hit only 186, but he hit 14 home runs in San Diego.
And that's a tough place to get the ball out.
Tough hitter's park.
Ooh.
Fly ball, center field, carries back to Ellsbury, who makes the catch. There'll be a tag at second, and Smith will go to third. You know, Smith is one of those guys that if you hit a fly ball to center field in that situation and they don't hurry to get it back in, he might try to score from second one of these days. Be interesting to see that. Well, that's going to be it for Tanaka. Joe Girardi coming out to get his prize right-hander. And a call to the bullpen here with the Rays having gone through the order twice. We'll be back in a moment. Fox Sports Sun brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Now the Rays have chased the New York ace Masahiro Tanaka after 2 2/3. He's given up 7 runs so far. Responsible for a man at third base as he leaves. After a great spring, as you pointed out, BA, almost flawless in the spring. 2 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs in this one, plus a man on.
Well, against a lineup that he has dominated in the past, but the Rays got it done early and often off of Tanaka. You see right there, Logan Morrison going back up the middle. Evan Longoria is going to take this pitch right off the top of the ball out there at Ducky's Landing and drop it in. And then Morrison, don't make a mistake to the big man out over the plate. He gets that one out deep into right center field.
Tommy Lane, the left-hander, in, and the first pitch fouled away by Dickerson. The line is responsible for a man on. Lane, 32 years old.
Fastball, slider, curveball, and split. Primarily fastball, slider against the left-handed hitters.
1-1. Dickerson started the offense for the Rays back in the first with a leadoff single and scored the first run of the game on a sacrifice fly by Evan Longoria. Liner right to Castro at second to retire the side. Rays come up with 2 runs in the inning. A home run by Logan Morrison. Second home run of the day for the Rays. We are through 3 and the Rays lead 7-2. Fourth inning, Rays at 7-11, bringing a $7.11 ticket to Rays fans. Visit a local participating 7-Eleven store. Pick up a Rays discount coupon for the game this Friday against the Blue Jays. Keep saving with $5 Budweiser and Bud Light drafts exclusively on the Budweiser porch. Age 21 and over. Please drink responsibly. Rays up. Jacoby Ellsbury hitting in the 5th spot in Joe Girardi's lineup to lead off the 4th. Ellsbury, then Castro and Headley. Pitches a strike around the knees. Archer with 1 strikeout. He's walked 1. The strikeout came against Holiday to end the top of the 3rd. Now a strike to open the 4th against Ellsbury. Pitch inside. It's 1-1.
A nice off-speed delivery right there for Chris Archer, and he's got to love what his offense has done for him today. 3 early runs. The Yankees come back and answer, pull it to within 3-2, and once again, Rays lengthen that lead. I'd like to see him settle in right now and start popping up some quick 0 innings.
And he has Ellsbury reaching there. That acted as if it was a changeup.
Yeah,
from the reaction of the hitter.
And that would have been another back-to-back. A changeup to get to 2 strikes. No, that's going to be a 2-seamer. Either way, look at the movement.
Oh,
and that's right.
Nice run away.
Yeah, and the swing is what said changeup. Trying to chase that thing off the plate. That is the 2-seam fastball, and got Ellsbury to expand.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
You have that and the changeup.
Oh yeah, and they'll mimic each other. That's the thing. Minus 6-7 miles an hour.
Now Castro jumps on the first one and rips it into left center. Smith over to cut it off. Nice job right there. You talk about the outfield. Last year, that's a double if Kiermaier can't get to it, and he couldn't this time. With Smith in the outfield, that's how valuable the ability to cover ground in the outfield is.
It's not just about recording outs. Sometimes it's this right here. Get to it quickly, get it back in, and keep a runner out of scoring position. Alex Smith, he has been a busy man here early in this game.
Yeah, he's a fun guy to watch. Got a little flair about him anyway. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Hey, let's have a little fun with this game. And he can run. Chase Headley upstairs. The other thing about Archer so far, we have not seen him fight command of the fastball the way he did at times last year. And that's been good.
Well, you remember it was early in games, and that's where a lot of that damage against him came. And it was a lot of the fastball elevated. Couldn't get it down into the zone consistently, and you're right, no sign of that here today.
It's 1-1.
Seems to be a hair more deliberate than we've seen him in the past, doing a better job of mixing pitches.
Yeah, we're seeing Archer pitch more today than we've seen him pitch before.
I would absolutely agree with that statement. No doubt.
That's an encouraging sign with any pitcher with the stuff he has naturally. Two and two, pretty close right there.
Yep. Steady diet of off speed. That one just out of the zone. And you're right, Dwayne. When you talk about guys that have the pure stuff, a lot of times they get by on that as long as they can. And when the stuff starts to go south, they're like, now how do I get guys out now?
Yep.
If you can learn how to pitch with that stuff, boy, do you set yourself up well.
Count is full. Big right-handed hitter Aaron Judge on deck. He ripped a double his first time. 1 on, 1 out, full count on Headley. You get a lead like this, 7-2. You don't want to let them up. Strikes out Headley. Second strikeout of the inning. It's third of the game.
Three-two slider. And you can see right there trying to backdoor it where Derek Norris is set up, and he's able to drop it on the outer half. There was a number of off-speed pitches during that sequence to Chase Headley, and finally able to put him away.
Aaron Judge. His line double to left in the second inning, drove in a run. Into the dirt, scooped out by Norris. down, 2 away, 2-0 count. Lifted to the right side. Morrison digging for it in foul territory. Not an easy play, but he makes it down near the bullpen. Morrison runs it down. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Kevin Kiermaier will lead off for the Rays, who hold a 7-2 lead. Fourth inning, Rays lead the Yankees. Mimic Kevin Kiermaier this Saturday by snaring your own phenomenal catch. When the Rays take on the Toronto Blue Jays, fans receive a KK Gold Glove bobble presented by Dex Imaging. Be a part of the action. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com today. Rays up. Kevin Kiermaier up right now, followed by Evan Longoria and Brad Miller with the left-hander Tommy Lane out there. He got the final out in the 3rd. And the first pitch comes close to Kiermaier. That's ball 1. Kevin's been on twice with a double and a walk and has scored twice. And up in the count, 2-0. Action in the Yankee bullpen. Ground ball, and it's going to go through. Base hit in the center. Kiermaier makes a turn on for the 3rd time. 2 for 2 now. And 3 times he has been on base in 3 plate appearances.
Now you can see the defense right there in this ball. He's able to squeeze it by Castro, but it would not have mattered. Castro comes up with that ground ball, and Kevin Kiermaier, the way that he gets out of the box, is probably going to beat it out anyway.
The Yankees have Adam Warren, the right-hander, throwing in the bullpen as Evan Longoria steps in to face the lefty. Pitch is a strike.
Exactly how Joe Girardi drew it up to start the season, having to dip into the bullpen in the 3rd inning and then play that game, try to piece this thing together. Does get the benefit of an off day tomorrow.
And he has Warren down there, who he could extend a bit. Lane not so much. 2 strikes the count on that foul ball. Evans' home run came off a split into 2nd. Longoria and Morrison have hit round trippers. headed back to first as he saw that move by Lane coming. And strike 3 call. Longoria caught looking.
Really good breaking ball right there by Tommy Lane, and where he was effective with it was out of his hand. It's a curveball. He's going to start it off the plate. Evan gives up on it, and look at that thing find its way right into the zone.
Brad Miller in against the lefty. It's fouled out of play. Miller had an infield hit in the first. Scored a run when the Rays scored 3. The Rays have scored in each of the first 3 innings. Kiermaier, the leadoff single. And that is a strike. 0-2. Every spot in the Rays order has reached base except the number 9 spot. Take a look at this one break on. Just catching a part of the plate, says Jerry Lane.
50-50.
Yep. We've had a few of those.
How did he hit that?
I have no idea.
I mean, that ball headed down into the dirt. Just get a piece, stay alive.
Might be a pretty good cricket player. Runner goes, pitch, a cut and a miss, throw down, not going to be in time. Kiermaier steals second base. The strikeout by Lane. Kiermaier had 21 steals last year, picks up his first stolen base of the season.
And that is off of Tommy Lane. Very slow to the plate. Gary Sanchez, a good catch throw guy. Didn't matter here. His pitcher didn't give him a chance.
Girardi's out to make a pitching change. He has the right-hander Warren about to enter this game, and we'll see him when we return. Geico flashback 20 years ago. The Rays had opening day. First game in the history of this Major League franchise. Wilson Alvarez facing Brian Hunter of the Tigers and missed with a pitch down and in for ball one. This the 20th opening day in franchise history. Steven Souza Jr. now facing Adam Warren. And he missed with the first pitch. Warren did 1-0. Short fly ball to left. It's going to hang up long enough for Gardner to get there. And he makes the catch to retire the side. Rays put the leadoff man on. They leave Kiermaier at second after the steal. And so we have gone through 4 innings here in the opening game of the 2017 season, with the Rays building a 7-2 lead. And we're going to head into the 5th inning. And before we do that, we're fortunate enough to have Kevin Cash, the Rays skipper, join us. And Kevin, we appreciate your time away from this opening day. You certainly have to like what you've seen, and particularly I would think from Chris Archer, who seems to us up here to be pitching more, in the sense that we've seen a couple of back-to-back change-ups and what appeared to be a two-seamer.
No doubt. I mean, Arch sets the tone, and happy with everything the offense is doing. The guys are swinging the bat really well off Tanaka, who's a very good pitcher. But, you know, Arch, he is pitching today, and he has mixed in his changeup. That was one thing we were kind of wondering how much he used it a lot in spring training. If he was going to use it during the season, and he's proven that he's going to.
Hey, Kevin, the former pitcher up here wants to talk about the offense right now. You've got to like what you've seen from this group. Couple of long balls, yes, but manufacturing some runs and putting some innings together.
Yeah, they have. They've been tremendous, man. The guys are putting the ball in play when we've got guys on third base. Malik Smith has energized us there with the bunt. We saw that all spring. He's made some tremendous plays in left field. But overall, the offense, I think, you know, Longo's home run was the big one that they come back and get 2 runs off of us, and he adds a 2-run homer, but that's what he does.
Kevin, you said over the winter one of the things you wanted to add to this club was speed in the outfield, and you just mentioned Malik Smith. I thought the play that he made on Castro in the top of the 4th to keep him at first is an encouraging sign for this team and this pitching staff going forward. It
really is. If you look down the dugout, the entire pitching staff stood up and was clapping, so they recognize that. And I mean, Malik has made some nice plays down the left field line also. He looks really comfortable for a guy that hasn't played in this dome before.
Yeah. Kevin, we certainly appreciate you taking the time here right in the middle of this game, and so far so good.
Okay, guys, thank you.
All right, Kevin Cash, the Rays manager, visiting with us as we get set to go into the 5th. Chris Archer through 4 has given up a couple of runs, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and he faces Torreyes. Ronald Torreyes, the shortstop, to lead it off. This pitch moves him back there with a fastball, 1-0. Two balls, no strikes. Reyes drove in a run with a ground ball in the 2nd inning. The Yankees scored both their runs in that inning. Aaron Judge double home a run, and then Torres got one home with a ground ball. Pretty close, but no call, and the count goes to 3-0.
And Chris Archer right there asking, was that pitch off of the plate? A 2-0 slider. I think that's exactly what Jerry Lane said, that ball's sliding off the plate.
And the strike, 3-1. Going to be out of play. Archer works his way back to a full count after falling behind 3-0.
And we've seen it a number of times. Down in the count, not afraid to use the off speed. We know he likes his slider with 2 strikes, but we're seeing it 2-1 counts, 3-1 counts.
And he gets the call this time, right out there on the corner. And Torres is caught looking, and a nice job by Archer coming back from a 3-0 count.
3-1 slider, 3-2 slider, and the one that matters right there. That's the one you want to get called. And it's right there. Yep.
You talk about a perfect pitch.
Don't feel bad. There's nothing you can do about it.
Brett Gardner. Gardner with a fly ball to left and a ground ball to second. And he takes a strike. Nice mix today by Archer so far. Upstairs. And you also have to wonder, BA, that you know, Norris comes here with that reputation, calling a game. You got a pitcher out there. It had to be a quick study for him coming over here.
I think that a matchup like that is just a perfect match. You know, Derek Norris is going to work a pitcher. You know, he's got that kind of that acumen behind the plate. But I think also that for Chris Archer, this is something that he made, you know, a priority in spring training. Not just going to rely on fastball, slider, and being predictable. I'm going to mix pitches, and so you get guys that work together like that and make it fun to watch.
Miller throws out Gardner, 2 up, 2 down in the 5th. So the bases will be empty for Sanchez. Best way to face this guy. Sanchez 0 for 2 first time. He hit that liner off Archer's leg in the first, then went out short to first in the 3rd. Want to know. Archer finishes off this inning in short order. He could get through 5 and be in the mid-70s in pitch count. That's another good sign.
Well, especially with the bullpen right now in flux, you would love to see the Rays starters to be able to get deeper into games, take some of the burden, some of the pressure off of that bullpen.
Up front, he lifts a pop fly to left. Smith, keeping his eye on that ball, makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down, and we're going to go into the bottom of the 5th. 7-2 Tampa Bay. Been a good day for the Rays bats so far, and for Logan Morrison, who singled home 2 runs in the first, and belted a home run in the 3rd inning. Solo shot. So 3 runs batted in for Logan Morrison today, and it took him a long time to get to that point a year ago. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Chris Coors Light. Last year it was on May the 18th. 31 games before he got his 3rd run batted in.
And if I remember correctly, I'm going to say it was in Toronto and it was a fielder's choice to second base.
Yep. That's about right.
I remember that.
A little more demonstrative today.
Yeah. With authority.
He's facing Adam Warren in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 pitch and a ground ball. Diving stop by Bird. Hit the ball hard again. And Warren covers to take the toss.
Shortstop, Tim Beckham.
That'll be Tim Beckham. Beckham doubled and scored in the 3rd. So he picks up a hit on the heels of last year's 10-game hitting streak to finish the year. Masahiro Tanaka pitched 2 2/3. The shortest opening day outing for the Yankees since Ron Guidry back in 1983. Pitch inside, 1-1. Gaudioso has done some extensive work and finds that the last Yankee starter to fail to make it through the 3rd and give up 7 or more earned runs on opening day, Mel Stottlemyre in 1973. We talk about 3 quality pitchers there in Stottlemyre, Guidry, and Tanaka.
Just one of those days too, because Tanaka was so very good in spring training. Really, I mean, I think his ERA was .38, 1 earned run, and you just have a day where you're falling behind, you're just a little bit out of rhythm, pitches catching too much of the plate.
Oh, strike 3 call, and Beckham didn't like that. Shaking his head as he walks away.
Well, late break right here, keeping it low to the corner.
So Warren picks up his first strikeout. There's Malik Smith. And a hard hit ground ball, but picked up by Bird. Unassisted, and the Rays are up and down in order for the first time today. Through 5, Rays 7, Yankees 2. The Rays leading. Always be prepared for your own home run derby with the Rays Bat Pack. The Rays take on the Toronto Blue Jays Sunday. Kids 14 and under receive a baseball bat pack presented by Sagicor Life Insurance Company. Be a part of the action. Call 888-FAN-RAYS. Visit RaysBaseball.com today. Rays up. Well, the Rays right in the middle of this American League East to start the year. The Yankees in, followed by the Blue Jays. And then that first road trip, the Rays are up to play the Yankees and the Red Sox. A lot of great baseball here on this opening homestand with New York and Toronto coming in. Greg Bird, 24-year-old first baseman, leads off the sixth. Big inning for Archer here with Bird, Holiday, and Ellsbury due up. Fouls it back, strike one. Archer had a 13-pitch fifth, 14 pitches in the fourth, and 9 in the third. So he has been very efficient here the last 3 innings. It's up 1-1. He's retired 11 of the last 12 hitters to face him. Two.
Well, we're seeing once again left-handed hitter, steady diet of off speed, continues to mix pitches well and keep this New York Yankee lineup guessing.
Fly ball center field. Kevin Kiermaier waiting for this one. One away. So far, so good for Chris Archer.
Now the Yankees able to get to him for 2 runs in the second inning and close this game up a little bit, but boy oh boy, that's been it. Other than that, he has been mixing his pitches very, very well. Seen the slider well placed, some good change-ups, the fastball moving it around the strike zone, and right now in control into the 6th.
So 78 pitches, working against Matt Holliday here. 1 out into the 6th. 1 ball, no strikes. One. Ground ball. Beckham after it. Takes it away. Holiday is out of there. Beckham to Morrison. Two up and 2 down on the fly ball and the ground ball.
And Tim Beckham flashing a little bit of that range going up the middle and making a tough throw right on the money to Logan Morrison, and the Rays are going to need him in a big way. You talked earlier in the game, Dwayne, about Matt Duffy and the heel issues keeping him out of the lineup. This is going to be your guy. He's going to get a bulk of the playing time and has a great opportunity. Really emerged during the course of spring training, came in with a great attitude, great work ethic. You mentioned Ricky Weeks Jr. and his influence on him, and he's set himself up nice here.
And Jacoby Ellsbury takes the pitch inside. 1-0. Yeah, because the completion of last year was on a down note for Tim Beckham without question. And who knows, that might have been the crossroad for him.
Yeah.
And it certainly appears to be headed in the right direction now. And you love to see a story like that.
And I think there's no question about it. There was a message sent and it was received, and the reports have been fantastic for Tim Beckham. The way that he's putting together the spring training, now obviously into the regular season. At a critical position, nonetheless.
We've talked so much about the philosophy of this team forever, pitching and protected with good defense, and things sort of went the other way last year in that regard. Chop right side. Archer's there to cover. Ellsbury out of there. 3 up, 3 down. That's 14 out of 15 retired by Archer. He's looking to recapture the pinstripe pride with last year's hottest rookie Gary Sanchez taking on Evan Longoria, and the Tampa Bay Rays. Don't miss the action Wednesday at 6 Eastern on FS1. Rays lead this one 7-2. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Adam Warren, the third pitcher of the day for New York. Derek Norris leads off. That's the first one into right. Judge is there and makes the catch. Pitch one out in the bottom of the 6th.
Number 10, Corey Dickerson.
Rays and the Yankees opening the Major League season. First game of the year here in 2017. We're back in action Tuesday night here. Jay Godorizzi against CC Sabathia. Corey Dickerson takes a strike. Dickerson singled and scored the first run of the game. That was back in the first when the Rays put up 3. Hits it hard, but foul back at first. Dickerson a bit lighter this year, about 25 pounds lighter.
And I don't think lost any of the power.
Might have gained some quickness.
You start to think about bat speed and how that plays into how far that ball's going to travel. Yeah, you do need some strength, but boy, if you can get that bat through the zone quickly, that ball's it's gonna carry.
And he sends a long fly ball to left. You know, we've seen him hit home runs that way, just that way.
It was the spring training game that we did a week ago against the Red Sox. Saturday afternoon, he flipped one.
Yeah.
over the wall in left field, and I mean flipped.
Yeah, you got to be strong to do that. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Pitch is down. 2-2. Kiermaier on deck. He's had a great day. Too high, and the count is full. Rays got all 7 runs against Masahiro Tanaka through 2 2/3. Tommy Lane worked an inning. Warren has been on since then. And a cut and a miss. Dickerson missed the fastball up. 2 up, 2 down.
Adam Warren on the verge of losing Corey Dickerson is able to tie him up here. That 4-seam fastball starts to leak back across the plate, but he keeps it up in the zone and able to get it to hop over the bat of Corey Dickerson.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier with a double walk and single. Jan, a little hopper back to second. Torreyes is close at first. Everything's close with Kiermaier. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays. On to the 7th, 7-2 Tampa Bay. Here's what's coming up Tuesday. Now tomorrow's a day off. Back in action Tuesday on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Jake Odorizzi. He'll be the starting pitcher for the Rays, and Orestes takes a tour of the Trop's new turf. It's a good look. The new turf appears to be quick and a little bouncy.
You know, I know where you're going with that, and I'm not touching it. But what I'm going to go back to is I wondered what Jake Odorizzi was enjoying right there. Seemed to be having a good time there in between innings, watching something.
Appeared to be entertained.
He did.
Yeah.
It looked like it was really good.
Yep.
His reaction.
Yep. You don't agree that the turf is fast and bouncy?
I do. I mean, those are the initial early reports, but I thought it was in reference to something we had discussed before coming on the air.
Probably better let discuss before we went on the air. On to the 7th we go. Starlin Castro 2 for 2 today, and now 3 for 3. A base hit in the center. Castro, we mentioned early in the day, he is an aggressive hitter. And the last 2 at bats, he's seen 2 pitches and has base hits.
Well, he wants to extend, wants the ball out over the plate. He's attacking early. This is a slider working its way down and away, but he stays right on top of it and pushes it right back up the middle.
You know, he's 3 for 3 today, which is going to give him lifetime 7 of 15 against Archer with a home run. Just throw him some pitches out of the zone.
Well, you know what? That will be what is looked at, and you know, maybe the adjustment that's made. If a guy's going to be that aggressive, take that slider a few inches further out and get that little easy ground ball on one pitch.
Want to know the count to Chase Headley. Two and 0. Archer working here in the 7th. There's a strike. Just to come back and get a strike there, down 2-0. And a bunt, third base side. They're going to let it roll, but it's going to stay fair. Well, he had that left side. And so Headley, who had a base hit against the shift in the 2nd, bunts against that here in the 7th inning.
Well, the Yankees down 5 runs, need base runners, and they need them badly. And after a leadoff single, here comes Headley. And you're right, it's just about keeping it fair because there is no play to be made at all.
So suddenly 2 men on with nobody out. The base hit by Castro and the bunt by Headley. The first time the Yankees have had more than 1 man on base in an inning since the 2nd. And here is Aaron Judge, and we know with his power he can be dangerous. Fouls it back.
He loaded up on that swing,
yes,
and he got a slider that kind of hung up there a little bit for him and just fouled it off. And that's a pitch as a pitcher standing out there, as it leaves your hand, you're thinking, uh-oh. Very fortunate to get a strike.
That'll be strike 2, down 0-2.
Now make the adjustment and go right to the kneecaps on the outside corner.
And the Yankees bullpen has been busy with Jonathan Holder up. The Rays start a little stirring toward their bullpen. No one throwing yet. Swing and a miss. Judge chased that one. And a big strikeout for Archer.
Well, that's the book on Aaron Judge, and he did a better job of cutting down on strikeouts during spring training, but get ahead and then expand the zone, and he will chase. See right there, nice job by Chris Archer after that first slider was fouled off to come back with 2 quality ones and put them away.
So 1 away here in the 7th. Torres is the scheduled hitter, but Aaron Hicks has emerged from the dugout, the pinch-a-penny pinch hitter for the Yankees is Aaron Hicks. So Hicks will pinch hit for the shortstop, Torres. Hicks, switch hitter. Xavier Cedeno now up in the Rays bullpen. Here's a strike. Some heat to start him. Strike one. Hicks a .217 hitter last year. One ball, one strike. Single to center and a bunt single, putting 2 men on. Then the strikeout of Judge. Archer's pitch count mid-90s now, 95. And he misses down. 2-1.
The second inning, that's when the Yankees were able to close the deficit, score a couple of runs, but outside of that, very efficient.
Wide with a fastball. Down 3-1. Left-handed hitter Brett Gardner is on deck. Cedeno busy in the bullpen, and behind Gardner is Sanchez. So you don't want to put men on base with that guy looming near. That's a strike.
How about that? How about in a 3-1 count going to the backdoor slider and being able to drop it right on that corner? Boy, another example of going to the off speed down in the count and perfectly placed.
Well, he wasn't afraid to throw the slider last year, and he's been proud of it in this game in key situations, as we just saw. Fly ball, right field. Souza makes the catch. The runners will hold. 2 outs in the 7th. So 2 outs. Brett Gardner is due up. Gardner with a fly ball to left and 2 ground balls to second. And Archer on the mound with 99 pitches under his belt. Norris spends a little time with him.
Everybody peeking into that dugout to see if there's any movement by Kevin Cash. He's staying put for now.
In the old days, there would be stairs into the dugout if they looked at all. Don't be looking out here. A little different now. So here's Gardner. Key spot. Gardner takes it down. That's a strike. Fastball, 1-1. Couple of base hits, then 2 outs. Now the pitch. Soft liner into short left. Bases will be loaded. Smith to the ball quickly. Castro stops at third. Gardner just put his bat out there and made contact and got a hit the other way. So they are loaded. Gary Sanchez will be the hitter.
And there it is, a changeup, and that ball's right on the edge, maybe just off the plate. A nice job of hitting by Brett Gardner, staying back and then realizing not going to be able to try to pull that pitch with any success, so just shoot it out into left field. And now you've got the matchup of the ball game.
Gary Sanchez and Chris Archer matching up here. And that pitch just missed. Boy, that first pitch so important. 1-0. Sanchez 0 for 3 hit a fly ball to left his last time. That's a strike. A little extra on the fastball. 1-1. This pitch number 104 came in at 96. Ramirez has joined Cedeno now. Nice pitch. Very good pitch there. 1-2.
Now he comes back with the slider and then put a little bit of extra on it. Watch it, this thing just sweeps right off the plate, and Gary Sanchez realizes mid-swing wasn't a good idea.
Sanchez getting time, stepping back. The Yankees had left 3 men on base all day. A man in the first, a man in the second, a man in the fourth. They have the bases loaded in the 7th with 2 outs. And a 1-2 count on Gary Sanchez. Into right field near the line. Souza can't get there, and it's going to be a foul ball. Reaching out and dropping it just foul. That appeared to be trouble for a while. And a tail foul.
Now with the bases loaded, 2 outs, everybody running on contact. Absolutely right.
Sanchez gets a new bat. So the Yankees putting up their first threat since they scored 2 in the 2nd inning. In between, Archer retired 14 out of 15 hitters. Pitching with the bases loaded behind him, 2 gone. And for the second time, Sanchez steps back as Archer's set to make a 1-2 pitch. Archer threw him a great slider to get to 2 strikes. Up and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, shortstop. Beckham will take it to first. Out there, and the Yankees leave him loaded. No runs, 3 hits, and 3 men left on base. Archer pitches out of the jam. His pitch count up to 108. And that last pitch, a very big one. You see Archer and his reaction, getting that key ground ball to leave the bases loaded. And now, God bless America.
From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean, wide we fall. God bless America, my own sweet home. God bless America, my
Early lead in the season's opener. Base hit. Fly ball to right field off of the starter. Tanaka scored Corey Dickerson. Then a base hit by Logan Morrison drove in 2 to make it 3-0. Yankees scored a couple in the second, and Longoria quickly got those back with his first home run of the year in the second inning. Logan Morrison added a homer in the third. The Rays have built a 7-2 lead coming into hit in the bottom of the 7th inning here, and they will be facing the 4th New York pitcher of the day. Jonathan Holder is on the mound. Tanaka charged with all 7 runs in 2 2/3. Lane, Warren, and now Holder.
And Holder appeared in 8 games a year ago with the Yankees, 8 1/3 innings.
First pitch is wide to Evan Longoria. It's a strike, 1-1. We gave you a list of Evan, #1 in all those offensive categories in franchise history, making his 9th consecutive opening day start at third. And that surpasses Carl Crawford for most opening day starts in club history. So he leads that category as well. Tried to hold on that pitch. It's a strike, says Jerry Lane. It's now 1-2. And is out on strikes. Breaking ball got him. And the hitter will be Brad Miller. Rays did all the damage against Tanaka. They have only one hit off the Yankee bullpen. Brad Miller had an infield hit in the first and scored. He's 1 for 3. Danny Farquhar is up in the bullpen now for the Rays. Missing the fastball. It's 1-1. Upstairs, 2-1. It's Aaron Hicks, who's now in left field. Ground ball. There's a base hit through the left side. Miller is aboard, picking up his second hit.
And that was a really nice job by Brad Miller right there. You know, the big swing on the and a miss on the fastball earlier in the count, and then right here, getting this pitch away, and he just slaps it. You see how he cuts down on the swing? He's got some room to work with on that side of the field, and he just pops it through there, takes his base hit. It's impressive when you think this is a guy a year ago popped 30 home runs for the Rays. Content with a single there.
One on, one out for Steven Souza Jr. 0 for 2 and walked. Cosmo's in the game at shortstop. And he's hitting in the #1 spot now. Two on Souza. Morrison on deck. Ground ball, short, out at second, and safe at first. Souza beating the throw on the double play attempt. 2 gone with a man on. Follow Rays Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected to the game's best players all season with Game Day. Live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. And a big day for Logan Morrison. 2 RBI single in the first, a home run in the third. He is 2 for 3. Pitch, strike at the knees. And a full house here at Tropicana Field.
It's always fun when this building is full. Loud.
Yep.
A lot of energy. Rays, they seem to feed off of that. You get those crowds north of 30,000, and it's as close to a guaranteed win as you're going to get.
And I'll tell you, it really looks nice, you know, with the new turf.
Oh,
with the blue and the green, it really looks nice.
It has lightened this building up.
Yep.
You know, they've already tried to do that, you know, over the years, and I can remember playing back here 2003, 2004, and it was dark. You know, it's bright now. The new turf brightens it even more. Love the look of it.
Yep. And they've enhanced some of the screens here, the boards in the outfield.
Yep.
Close to Logan Morrison. Liner into right. That ball will fall for a base hit. So Morris, a throw back to second, and back in is Souza. And the shortstop slipping in behind him there. So Morrison with a 3-hit day.
Boy, things going his way too, because with that shift on, you've got very little room to be able to drop a line drive, get it over the head of the second baseman, and drop it in front of the right fielder. And he's able to split the difference and pick up his 3rd hit.
Well, Tim Beckham about to step in now with 2 men on and 2 men out, and Beckham came up there, and he and Jerry Lane had a little conversation before he stepped in, and you have to wonder if it was about that call 3rd strike in the 5th. It's a foul ball, and you would hope that Beckham was
respectful.
Good, yeah, respectful, yeah, exactly, and yeah, and hey, it's not beyond the plate umpire to go, hey, I know that you thought that might have been a ball. I'm telling you, it was a strike.
Right.
And you go, okay, yeah, you're right. And then let's have it good and bad here.
And most guys, you know, most umpires,
Yep.
that they're amenable to that. I mean, they will allow you, as long as you're not showing them up, they will allow discussion, get some back and forth, define the strike zone.
Yeah.
There's a few you got to be careful with.
Yeah. A couple of good friends who you got to be careful with on those umpiring crews. Yeah, the good sign is that Beckham put his hand on Lane's shoulder after he said something to him, and so that's good. Sends this one down the right side toward the bullpen. It's still 2 strikes. Well, the Rays with a little threat, 2 outs, 2 men on. Souza Jr. at second, Morrison at first. Beckham down in the count against Jonathan Holder. And a cut the miss. Beckham out on strike swinging. So the Rays lead 2. Been a big day for Evan Longoria. RBI fly ball right in the first and a 2-run homer in the second, and then Morrison with 3 hits, including a 3rd inning home run. Dave, some new faces on this Rays roster, and with that, let's check in with Alex once again.
Hey there, Dwayne. Well, Daniel Robertson found out yesterday that he had made the opening day roster. He said Kevin Cash called him into his office and said, "Is your mom still in town?" He said, "Yes, sir, she is." He said, "Good. Tell her to stay around a little bit longer. Congratulations." Well, Daniel, his father had passed away 4 years ago from lung cancer, but he had saved a voicemail that his dad had left him when he was playing in the minors. He played it yesterday with the feeling that he was able to tell his dad that his hard work and dreams had come true. Dwayne.
Yeah, it's a great story anytime a young man makes a major league club for the first time. It's a dream fulfilled. Danny Farquhar is the new pitcher here in the 8th. Red Bird takes that first pitch for a strike. Two. 7 innings for Chris Archer and an outstanding effort by Archer. 7 innings, 7 hit baseball, 2 runs, struck out 5, walked 1. Farquhar strikes out Bird.
Boy, short work on some quality pitches there by Farquhar. Now, he finished off the 2016 season pretty strong, coming in here into 2017, and he follows that changeup down with the fastball up and picks up his first strikeout.
That's a strike on the outside corner to Matt Holliday. Well, something had to give today in this matchup between the Yankees and the Rays. Last year, there were 3 teams in the major leagues who failed to grab any piece of first place in the entire season. The Minnesota Twins, one of those teams, and the other 2 are the 2 teams playing today, the Yankees and the Rays. And so whoever wins this game today will have already accomplished something this season that they failed to accomplish all of last year, and that is to have a claim for at least today of first place. Swing and a miss. So 2 strikeouts here for Farquhar. Take a look back at Archer's day.
Well, Chris Archer able to get the 7 innings and make some big pitches in big spots. New York Yankees able to touch him for 2 runs in the 2nd inning, but outside of that, it was Chris Archer moving the fastball around the zone. He was good with the slider. We saw some changeups. This was a big one right here to get out of that bases loaded 2-out situation. There goes the hat. There goes the emotions.
And right there, Ellsbury hit on the foot by that pitch. So a couple of strikeouts, and Ellsbury will head to first on a hit by pitch. Well, that ball traveled a long way to get its foot.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Well, there's Starlin Castro. He was 3 for 3, had 3 of the 7 hits allowed by Chris Archer today. The pitch is too high. 1 ball, no strikes. Farquhar, a couple of quick outs. Then he hit Ellsbury. 1-2. A lot of movement there. Lifted to the right of the plate, foul ball, and Norris takes care of that. A man left. We go to the home half of the 8th. Rays lead 7-2. On Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers and by Pinch A Penny, the perfect people for a perfect pool. Home opener for the Rays, season opener for Major League Baseball. The Rays and the Yankees headed into the bottom of the 8th with the Rays holding this 7-2 lead. They about hit the Yankees 11-7. Crowd of 31,042 here. Sellout crowd at the Trop. So the left-hander, Jason Shreve, is on with Malik Smith set to lead off. Then Derek Norris, the catcher, followed by Corey Dickerson. Smith pops it into shallow center. Ellsbury coming in to make the catch. One away.
Well, 2 seasons ago, Jason Shreve put together a very nice year for the New York Yankees. 2015, a 3.09 earned run average in 59 games. He's one of those guys that's going to attack the strike zone, fastball, slider, split.
Derek Norris. A couple of fly balls and a ground ball, 0 for 3. Fouls it right back for a strike. relatively low. It's 2-1.
It's going to be important for the Rays to have a quick start to the season for all the in-division games that they play right off the bat, 14 in a row. But how about the quick start in the game today against a guy who has been very tough against them, very good in the first inning?
Norris takes it into left. Backhanded by Hicks, and Norris has a one-out single. His first hit. Now you're right about that with this schedule. The Yankees, Blue Jays, Yankees again, then the Red Sox. And we take a look at what this lineup has done. Everybody with a hit except Susie Jr., who is 0 for 3. He did draw a walk. He's been on a couple of times. Dickerson opened the Rays first with a base hit and scored the first run of the game. Strike at the knees. So every spot in the Rays lineup has been on base today.
Up and down the lineup, everybody chipping in, a couple of home runs. You are not surprised by that, the way that the Rays were able to knock them out of the ballpark a year ago. But I like the fact that they were able to put together some innings, string together some base hits, runners in scoring positions, something that they really struggled with a year ago, able to come through with some hits today.
Good to give Kevin Cash some smiling room.
Yeah. Well, when he talked about the stretch that the team went through a year ago.
Ground ball first, down to second out there. Nobody covering first. Shreve a little late getting over. So Dickerson reaches on a fielder's choice. Norris cut down. 2 gone. Yeah, the Yankees and the Rays last year, they had some interesting games. Well, when you look at their home run totals, the Rays play in a park that really is a challenge to hit a home run, and the Yankees, but Yankee Stadium, that's a pretty good hitters park up there, home run, especially for a left-handed hitter. The Rays hit 216 home runs last year. The Yankees hit 183. Yeah. The Rays had some issues with their on-base percentage. Kevin Kiermaier.
And where would the Yankees have been in the home run department without the call-up of Gary Sanchez?
Absolutely.
Who popped out 20 in 53 games. You think about him, and still they end up with 183, which was 11th in the American League.
Broken bat and a popper back a third. Barreled into the bat split, handled by Bird at first.
Could do some fencing with that now.
Don't forget, coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by W.B. Mason. Rich, Orestes, and Doug will break down Chris Archer's performance. We'll hear from Kevin Cash for the manager's press conference, and Alex Cordry has interviews from the clubhouse on Rays Live, the postgame. A lot will be jammed into that postgame show.
And we got the full desk to work on. All the bodies are here, ready to go to work.
Kiermaier takes it inside, 2-2. There's some great coverage by our post-game team. Into the dirt, skipping away from Sanchez. So the wild pitch will allow Dickerson to move into scoring position.
That was trouble out of the hand. You see the split and it gets spiked. Doesn't even get into the camera angle, and you see Gary Sanchez coming up on that, but just not able to keep it close enough. Tough pitch to handle.
Tapper, that'll be foul. Shreve will throw that split quite often. Fastball on the split, slider.
Well, you know, he's 6'4", tall and lanky, and able to get that good hand whip out in front to get that late bite, really sweep the slider. Fastball's got some sneaky velocity.
Popped up, foul. Sanchez after it, but he will run out of room.
Oh! I saw a beverage get blown up, Dwayne.
Yep.
And it's after the 7th, so you're done.
Can't replace that one. Yeah, look at that. Disaster. And ball 4 comes too close. It's going to give Evan Longoria another trip to the plate against the left-hander Shreve. Reminder, both fans, tune in tonight. Lightning play the Dallas Stars. Lightning Live pregame begins at 5:30 on Fox Sports Sun and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Go Bolts. Here's Longoria, a big cut. Nice swing at that one. This one is down. 1-1. Two men on, 2 men out, bottom of the 8th. Just a bit of that one foul. Runs the count to a ball, 2 strikes. Shreve, pitcher number 5. Tanaka worked only 2 2/3 today. Lane for an inning. Warren 2 1/3. He was very good. Holder an inning, and now Shreve.
Joe Girardi has done a nice job of piecing this game together through the bullpen, and they've done their job in trying to keep the Rays close enough that the offense could come back, but Chris Archer was having none of that.
Austin Pruitt up in the bullpen for the Rays. Too wide. Sanchez trying to pull it in, and it's now even 2-2. One hopper, get it out of the glove of the shortstop. Cosma, throw to first, not going to be in time. And the inning will continue. That's a base hit for Longoria to load the bases.
Well, that ball popping out of the glove of Cosma, that play is not going to be made. Evan Longoria has stung this ball. Gave himself a chance to make a play right here, but as the ball gets away from the glove, there's just no time.
Second baseman, number 13.
Evan's second hit of the day. And it will be Brad Miller with the bases loaded. Miller has 2 hits, 2 for 4. Pitch to him is a strike. Couple of miss. Rays have dropped the last 2 season's openers against the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Archer, the losing pitcher in both those games. They have this 7-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th today. And Archer pitched very well, 7 innings. If the Rays close it out, he stands to get the win. And strike 3 call to Miller. So the Rays leave the bases loaded. We're going to head into the 9th with the Rays leading 7-2. Opening day for the MLB, and the Rays and the Yankees the first out. Rays have a 7-2 lead moving into the 9th inning here at Tropicana Field before a sellout crowd. Rays have out-hit the Yankees 13-7 and lead 7-2, and Austin Pruitt, young right-hander out of Plano, Texas, makes his home in the Woodlands in Texas now. Makes his major league debut. Last year, a starter at Durham. And his first pitch in the big leagues is to Chase Headley, and it's wide. 1 ball and no strikes.
Obviously put together a very good spring, and now coming out of the bullpen, and that's going to afford Kevin Cash a little bit of length out of Austin Pruitt. You think about what Erasmo Ramirez can give you too, and you've got some opportunities to put together some innings.
Ground ball against the shift, and it gets to the right of Longoria and to left, and Headley is aboard.
Boy, that's 3 times. Chase Headley, 2 ground balls that way. Also a bunt single, victimizing the shift.
You might have to play him straight up now.
I mean, really. Ball right off the end of the bat. You can see Evan Longoria, it was closer than he had been in the first couple of ABs. Take a peek at him right there. Just not quite able to get there.
Well, here's Judge, Aaron Judge. Strike one. Pruitt out of the University of Houston. Rays picked him in the 2013 draft. One. He made it right through the Rays system. Starting in Hudson Valley in 2013 with the Bowling Green, Charlotte, Montgomery, AA, last year Durham.
Steady progress.
Two and one. Signed by Pat Murphy, who's been an area scout for the Rays in that part of the country. Ground ball chopped to third. Longoria has trouble getting rid of it. Everybody is safe. Boy, you don't see that very often. Evan trying to at least get the lead man. An outside chance at 2 with Judge running. And the Rays get nothing.
In the transition, trying to get this ball out of the glove quick to get it down to second base, and it just comes loose. Great job of getting to this ball before the second bounce, and then right there it squirts free.
So 2 men on with nobody out, and Jim Hickey is going to march to the mound. A tough break there for the Rays and Pruitt. Alex Colomé gets up. These 2 teams off tomorrow. We'll be back with you Tuesday, and Jake Odorizzi will go to the mound for the Rays in that game. He'll be opposed by CC Sabathia. Our coverage begins at 6:30. Jake, a 10-game winner last year, finished the year 10-6, and he'll be on the hill in game 2 of this season and the series here Tuesday night. So a couple of ground balls thrown by Pruitt, but the Yankees have 2 men aboard, and here's Aaron Hicks. Strike around the knees. Breaking pitch in there around 78 or so. Fastball in the low 90s. 1-1. And a slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and one. Headley and Judge, the base runners. They have a big bat right there, and Chris Carter on deck. Line drive, and it's just off the glove of Beckham. He'll run it down, and the bases are going to be loaded. Beckham got a glove on it, but that's it. He slowed it. And there's a hit, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Chris Carter is going to be the pinch hitter with the bases loaded.
Well, here's Hicks taking that ball the other way, and Tim Beckham with the leap and just off the tip of the glove. That close.
Well, here comes Kevin Cash. A little bit of tough luck here for Pruitt. Headley, the little ground ball base hit, then the error on the ball hit by Judge, and a base hit by Hicks. Pitching change coming. Alex Colomé enters from the bullpen. A breakthrough season last year for Colomé. Finishing 4th in the American League with 37 saves. And a 191 earned run average, and he will have his work cut out for him now.
Well, he certainly will, and you know that Kevin Cash wanted to avoid this. But boy, he comes in, faces Chris Carter, a power threat, bases loaded, nobody out. Trying to close this one out for the Rays.
Bases loaded. Chris Carter, the pinch hitter. He's after the first pitch, bouncing it foul. Carter very strong. Big strikeout guy and a big power guy. Tap. That's a foul ball. Kicks foul and takes the count to 1-2. Big swing.
Yep.
And that little tapper.
Too much top spin. And now Colomé gets Carter to 2 strikes. Chance to put him away. That's the one thing that we know about Chris Carter. He's not going to cut down on that swing. He will expand the zone for you. Low batting average, a lot of strikeouts, but a lot of power.
All 2 strikes. And he lays off the pitch down. 2-2. Archer for 7, Farquhar for an inning. Pruitt faced 3 hitters. They all reached. Bases loaded. Colomé into the game. Fly ball into left. Malik Smith is there to make the catch. The tag at third. Headley's going to score the throw to third. So the Yankees on a broken bat fly ball. Sacrifice fly to left. Make it 7-3. And the Rays will gladly take it out for the run.
Now you've got another power source coming up here in Gary Sanchez, but you're absolutely right. Trade that out for a run. Keep the double play in order.
Sanchez 3 times is grounded out, although the first one really wasn't a ground ball. It was a shot right back to Archer, off Archer. He recovered and made the play. Then a couple ground balls to short and fly ball to left the other time. Big cut right there, strike 1. Sanchez, 299, 20 home runs in 53 games last year. Into the dirt. 1-1. He had 20 home runs in his first 189 at bats. Cut and a miss.
Cutting action. Yeah. Very subtle. He's picked up 2 big swings and misses. Looking for a third.
All 2 strikes. In at first and second. Colomé got him. Swing and a miss.
You know, he has the cutter, and then you'll see a pitch like that, a little bit more depth. He can really shape that pitch, give it a little bit more depth, more like a slider. Other times it looks and appears more like a cutter. And this one, bottom falls out. And he does pick up that third swing and a miss.
Yeah, supposedly the same pitch, but boy, do they look different.
Oh, yeah. And you know, what a weapon to have, where you can kind of keep it same plane and make it subtle. You can give it a little bit more depth and take it out of the zone like he did there.
That's Greg Bird. Bird 0 for 3 with a walk today. And there's a strike. Another cutter. Is down. It's 1-1. Well, Colomé led the major leagues last year in its swing and miss on the cutter, and we've seen a couple examples of it here in the 9th inning of this game. A little bit away on the fastball taken by Bird for ball 2. Colomé came in with no outs. Now 2 on, 2 outs. Fly ball lifted into center. That should do it. Kiermaier waiting, and the Rays win the opener. Colomé closes it out, and the Rays take the first game of the 2017 season, defeating the New York Yankees. It's a 7-3 contest. Chris Archer is going to get the win. Ron Anderson, Dwayne Stats, great to have you with us. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the post game, presented by WB Mason, comes your way next. Stay tuned for that.